Hey there, it's Law Smith, sitting here with Sweat Equity. Woo! Here's my co-host, Caleb Fuddy.
Howdy, howdy.
And we want to talk about the douchiest word in business, branding. How to build your brand. What is a brand? What does that mean? We're going to get into it right about now.
Business!
So if we had a good brand for our podcast, Sweat Equity, this would be the point of the episode where we'd have an advertiser. Since we don't have an advertiser, like we don't have any.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
we're not there yet.
We're gonna build this brand though.
We're building it. We're
Realistic, realistic entrepreneurial help, small business help, startup help.
Yep.
Or you already have a business. It's a small business, but you got to stay lean. This would be this area, this chunk in the beginning. We'll do it like WTF or Joe Rogan, and we'll just have it at the top of the show. Since we don't have that.
We don't have the part for you to fast forward through.
I kind of listen to it sometimes.
Yeah?
You know why?
Why?
Because podcast advertising, I feel like those sponsors a lot of the time, now it's starting to get broad. Like with Geico advertising and stuff.
Right.
But like Rogan's advertisers are like Squarespace and On It and things that
Ferris has MeUndies and those kind of brands.
And I bought them.
Oh, really?
They're great. I'm wearing them right now.
Interesting.
They feel awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't
So he ain't lying.
No, and that's why I kind of like listening to the advertisements on podcasts because I can find out about the Nest cameras that came out. Or
a lot of the companies that advertise on these podcasts are a little bit different than your traditional companies. They're taking a traditional approach or a less traditional approach, and that's why I think they pick that sort of outlet to advertise. That's where their market is, are the people that listen to Ferris, that listen to Rogan. It's
such a targeted listenership. If you're listening to this, you probably have your headphones in, your iPhone headphones in or something like that.
You're in a cubicle somewhere.
Or
throwing darts at your boss's face on your cubicle.
Or you're that dude that wears Beats to the gym. It's like, come on, man, what are you doing? Yeah. Like, I get it. You don't want to hear anything else. But this is where we put an ad. I liked hearing the advertisements. Again, those advertisers are trying to get not a broad shot. It's not the general insurance. Who the fuck buys that, by the way?
Yeah.
With a penguin and a general. It's like, got to get me that insurance.
I'd rather have the penguin.
But what does a penguin have to do with anything?
It's just cool.
And it's like 1997, like 3D animation.
It's got to be easier than a dog.
I don't understand the general at all, but people buy it.
Yeah.
People are dumb. And that's that. Hey,
not you, listeners.
No. If you're listening to this, you're
smart enough to be here.
You're proactive. You want to learn more. I like to listen to podcasts while I'm doing something else. I'll clean my place. I'll clean up the desk area of the office. Do something productive, but don't just zone out completely. Maybe I can learn something.
Exactly.
But with the podcast advertising, they're not hitting a laggard community. They're hitting the first movers. And they want to see how well that does. If you're hitting the smart people, dumb people will follow eventually, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, if
lazy.
If you have, if you're in business and you've probably heard it a million times that you need to surround yourself by people who are smarter than you, and that's how you end up with growth, both personally and in business. So hopefully you are the dumbest person in the room. Because you've done something right to set yourself into that position, and you won't be the dumbest person in the room for long. Hopefully you'll be the most successful person in that room.
I think a lot of what people always thought I was older, about 5-6 years older than I am. I'm 31, and it's because I hung out with guys that were 35.
Is that why?
35 and 36 years old that could. I'm hanging at their level. Also, I had 2 older sisters, so you're always trying to hang with them.
Right.
So it keeps you like, I don't know. I feel like you absorb so much more by trying to keep up with the Joneses that it's not my sisters, but all right. Anyway, instead of doing an ad right here, what we'll do is we'll pimp one of our clients, we'll pimp our website, which is tocoworks.com. We're Tocobaga Consulting, and we kind of handle everything from startup idea to medium business, and mostly on the online side of the business facets.
Right.
And we'll pimp Waterloo Washrooms in the Tampa Bay area. If you need a luxury mobile restroom, the worst is when you go to a wedding and they didn't think about that.
It didn't even get on their list.
It's one of those things like, really, you had an outdoor wedding, or really you had a wedding at this farm that had one bathroom?
They may have had the conversation where, what are they going to do for the bathroom? It's like, they're not going to go to the bathroom. They're going to be drinking and eating the whole time.
Right.
Nobody goes to the bathroom after that, right?
And then one uncle shits it up, and you're like, God damn it.
And it's done. It's done. Now people are leaving early because they got to go deuce. And
Uncle Ralph fucking ruined everything, man.
He was a +1. He actually wasn't invited.
Oh, shit.
He was brought as a +1. And that's what makes it worse.
Well, our aunt's got to come, But here's the thing. Waterloo Washrooms, it's one of our clients. We're very proud to have them as a client. It's been amazing thus far. Just started about 4 months ago, and we're already having to buy more trailers. So I'm excited about that. You bring it up. It's all customer service when you're there.
Yep.
And here's the big thing. They have what's called a looper on site.
A looper.
A looper.
Why don't you fill everybody in on what the looper is?
Not a bathroom attendant, because those suck.
Yes.
You know the awkward feeling where you go to the bathroom and you're like, oh, fuck, a bathroom attendant? And you're like, all right.
Yo, can you slip a piece of that juicy fruit in here while I'm washing these hands, please?
Yeah.
I swear I'll give you $1.
I like the guys that just don't talk. Those guys are like, you're just like,
they're too good for the bathroom attendant jobs, but they showed up anyways.
Right. They don't hand you anything. They're not like hustling. I'm cool with those guys. They're essentially a statue.
Real recognize real.
They're kind of like those. They remind me of those like you put it on your roof like a bird statue, so no other birds attack the house.
Yep.
It's kind of like that. Like that's how I feel about those guys.
They just set the tone early. It's like, yo, we're not friends. I'm just here to give you soap. We're not friends. Don't look me in the eye. We don't need that communication.
But the dudes who hustle, it sucks because then you never want to use the bathroom. So because you're like, fuck, I got to tip this guy every time I go take a piss. I've had 12 beers, so the 13th beer, I'm gonna have to go.
This isn't the last time I'm gonna see you.
My prostate's swollen. At this point.
That's the other thing. There's no downtime for someone to not be in the bathroom if you've got to go drop some heat. There's always someone there standing guard while you're trying to, and it's like, can we make a little noise? Can you put on some music? And usually they're like streaming music from some like app on their like pay-as-you-go phone.
Yep.
And it's, coming in a little chopped up. So there's a little bit of ambience noise in there, breaking up the deuce, but it's just not a comfortable situation for anybody.
If you're deucing, plus you feel like you're on a timer. Like that guy knows you've been in there.
They need quick turnover.
You've been blowing it up for 5 minutes playing Angry Birds too.
It goes up $1 a minute after 5. Yeah.
So no more of that. The Looper, it's an old school name actually for like an attendant. That our idea was basically he just loops around and cleans up everything.
The Looper.
Yeah. And he's an on-site customer service for Waterloo Washrooms.
Nice.
Go to waterloowashrooms.com. You can check them out on Facebook and Instagram. It's a really great thing. And this kind of dovetails right into this episode about branding.
Yep.
Because, it's like we said at the top of the show, it's the douchiest word you hear now.
Yeah.
Because social media has kind of made it like everybody's got a brand. And maybe I hear it more than normal people, like people not interested in the business side of everything. Mm-hmm. But like, I also hear this a lot with like musicians and like perfect example, the Fat Jew.
Yeah. Oh my
on
gosh.
Instagram, the joke stealer. If you don't know, in the comedy world, stealing jokes is like basically being Jared Fogle. It's the lowest of low, right? And so he has a brand, and it crumbled once he got a deal with like one of the big agencies and then a deal with Comedy Central, and he's telling everybody, oh no, I'm building my brand, and kept pushing that, and he's like, I didn't even know jokes are being stolen. Well, you should know that.
Yeah, you should probably
You're the
know
top
that.
of the heap.
Yeah.
And it's your face. and your moniker.
Ignorance is not innocence.
Right. Exactly. And that's his brand. And his brand went down because it didn't have. It's a house of cards essentially. Yep. With Waterloo, it was an interesting story. We had our friend come to us, and within a week, we came up with the name Waterloo as in a loo. And our business partner Josh was able to knock out a simple brand book, and that is something I'm experiencing. A lot of businesses don't even have that part. That's
such a foundational piece, the brand book, and it's something that, when you're in the beginning phases of this is more than an idea. It's starting to move into the realm of, hey, we have clients, we're moving, at maybe a slow pace or a small scale, but we are moving and we do have things going on. Having that branding and that brand book is so important to fall back on when you're looking for new and fresh ideas, and you may say, man, I'm going to make this social media post, or I'm going to make this blog post, or I want to, redo this page on the website. You need that foundational guide to go by with everything going as basic as your company colors and logo and alternate logo.
Yep.
And keeping it consistent so that when people go to your social media pages, when they go to your website, they're not sitting there and they click on another page and they say, well, what company is this?
Right.
What are we talking about on this page? It looks so different from the other ones. Or why does this Instagram post look different from all their other ones? You don't want to confuse anyone at any time as to what your mission is, what you're about, or whose page they're on, or what they're looking at. So it's so important to be able to fall back on that brand book to keep you on track. So
I had one of my friends that was talking shit to me about running my own consulting company, and I was like, okay. And when we were setting this up, you have to set yourself up for your friends to keep you honest like that, right? Mm-hmm. They're like, what do you know? And they didn't know I've been the fucking nerd. Like, I nerd out. None of my best friends, some of my best friends don't know just how hard I work.
They're like, you know how to read, funny guy?
Yeah, right. I walk into people, they're like,
why don't you read
I thought
this
you were
aloud?
just doing stand up. I was like, you don't make money doing stand up.
So
what I was talking to them about, he was like, all right, define to me what a brand is. And I was like, that's like if you can tell me what the definition of just is, can you do it?
Yeah. Give me that.
Give me the definition of just.
I'll be here.
I was like, that's kind of like, this can be as sprawling and it can be vague, because brand it can literally kind of sprawl across every part of your business, because even your customer service is part of your brand. Let's see, who has good customer service? I was trying to think of this the other day.
Example can we use here?
Let's say you have I'm trying to think. Maybe Zappos, okay?
Okay.
They really put a lot of initiative, a lot of their energy into customer service and bringing that back. In an age of no customer service, they want to have that on returns because they know they have a high return rate.
Right.
They knew that going into it 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's shoes. You try on a bunch of shoes when they're tangible in front of you at Foot Locker or whatever you're at.
Yeah.
They knew this is going to be a facet of their company, and that's going to build brand loyalty. Because if I buy new Asics running shoes, oh shit, I got the wrong version of the Asics I wanted. If I call back, hey, can I get a shipping slip? Oh, there's no charge on the shipping slip? Okay. Oh, the customer service person was really nice and really thoughtful, went out of their way. They actually use part of their brain to figure this out instead of just being like, the
manual says I should say this to you.
The opposite of that is like AT&T.
Or Verizon.
Right, any cell phone company.
When you call, and I don't want to totally
I'll keep you in.
Bash Verizon here, but I had to call Verizon one time, like we all have at one point or another, and called them and said, if I can get somebody out here, we need to have this reset or looked at or whatever the issue was. and the guy on the phone fires back. He's like, okay, we can have somebody there tomorrow between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's perfect. I was like, that's great because I don't have to go to work on Wednesday.
Nah.
Because it's not like I have a job or bills to pay. So I'll just wait here between 8 and 5.
Right.
And hope you show up.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I'll see you Wednesday. Thanks.
We all make apps at home.
Yeah. No, that's what I do. And I usually just sit around. I just watch TV. So
yeah,
that's good.
That window, we had it for this office, and we have a bar downstairs called the Bricks, and I had to just sit there, and I was like, I had an afternoon window, and I was like, well, if I'm working on my laptop downstairs using their Wi-Fi, but it's not secure, so I don't want to do too much client stuff. I just was like, all right, I guess I'll start drinking on this Friday while I wait for this guy who's late, who already missed the window. It was already like 30 minutes
and
outside.
you get no benefit from them. It's not like if we don't give you a receipt for your pizza, it's free.
Right.
Did you just sit and wait longer?
He at least said he's sorry. I don't even get that half the time. Jose was a good guy.
You think
I
so?
liked him.
Yeah.
I try to be as nice as possible to anybody that comes in my house or office or whatever.
Right.
Like offer a beer or water. Rare is the time they'll take the beer, but they appreciate it. And then usually if you're nicer to customer service, you usually get more out of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's building a brand on one of the pillars of their company, like Zappos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even sure if Zappos is the company I'm trying to use, but you understand the.
Well, and another good company, and because we have one here in Tampa where we are, is Nordstrom. And they are renowned for their customer service. You can return any article of clothing, even if it's been worn, and you can take it back, and they'll give you a refund. Sometimes they're overly helpful with how much attention you get while you're shopping and getting rooms started for you for fitting rooms and all that stuff. But I'd rather them be over helpful than under helpful. Because you compare Nordstrom's to going to Macy's or another store, Dillard's, where there's registers that aren't even open and you can't find anyone to do anything for you. That is part of their brand. That's part of who they are. Is there's always someone there to help you. You're not gonna go at this shopping expedition alone when you go into Nordstrom.
Right.
So and a lot of people like that.
And you pay a premium. It's embedded in the cost.
And that's the brands that they sell, and that's the they have that worked into their business model, and with the clothing markup and everything. But it's also the experience that you get. It's the nice clean store that you have. But they also have a variety of other services there that most people don't even know about, such as personal shopping, tailoring. They have people there who will shine your shoes for you if you go in with like an older pair of shoes that you have. So those are really cool aspects that a lot of people don't incorporate, and that's customer service. I mean, having those readily available for the customer it's great customer service, and that's worked into their branding that once you go there, that, and you have that sense of comfort shopping at their store. So
yeah, I totally agree. It's one of those things, and after a while, the economies of scale come at play that your margin gets bigger because all you're doing is you're having that customer service that you already know is there. Mm-hmm. Then you can work from there on with whatever clothing lines you're working with on the markup, because you've already built this brand that's already high end. You're the Tesla of department stores, and it's one of those things where I don't want to get. I can get on Tangent Highway. So I'm trying to.
Been there before.
I'm honing myself in. I get so excited, and then there's so many arms to creating a small business or getting an idea going that I'll just sprawl out everywhere, and then we don't get anywhere like our last episode. So here's the real. I want to try to give. We don't have to do some flashy kind of audio like sports radios like. Where they break in, it's like free advice, like one of those.
Turn up the volume now.
Right. So I want to give like a segment each podcast where we can do realistic free advice.
Right.
And the Simple Brand Book is where you have an idea, you want to do a startup, or you want to open a restaurant, you have a small business idea, it's not easy, but a thing you should do and keep looking into is having those brand elements. Caleb already touched on it. Having a logo.
Right.
Well, first off, have a name.
Have a name.
Have a name.
You might want to have a name.
Have a name, and this is what I tell a lot of people. If it's like a local service, you're a barber or a hairstylist, or you're a mechanic, you're something that's going to be local, but you just want to start your own shop, restaurant. Do your research. Google. You think of some names, but Google them.
Right.
If there's Hair by Missy and you want to be Hair by Misty, that's a bad name for your area. Yeah. That's confusing if people are trying to find you.
Right.
So I always say when you're doing like a brand creation and name creation, it's two things. It's like, all right, does this make sense? And you have to think of people as really dumb. And I don't. Yeah. I keep saying that, but I am the same way too.
But you have to assume that when that these people have no other knowledge of your company or your brand. So in your name, you either want to do one of two things. You want to create curiosity for them to dig in to find out more about it, such as the made up names. Google, Uber's not necessarily a made up name, but they're names that stand out. And that's getting a little bit further away from the big. Local, because those are big, exactly.
Yeah.
But you want to have something where people can identify immediately your name with what you are. So Hair by Misty, there's not too many other things that your business can be other than a hairdresser if the name of your business is Hair by Misty or Hair by Missy. So you want to be able to differentiate between the two. So like Law said, if you've got a Hair by Misty already going and your name is Missy, pick another name.
Right.
Something that's straightforward and easy.
No, pick something
but that's going to be identifiable.
That has something to do with you, what you're interested in. It belongs in the sector that you're in. It could be like I'm trying to think of a good name. Quaff or something like that.
I'm sorry?
Hard to spell. So that's
gotcha.
Bad. Hold on. I can do this.
Is that with a Q?
Well, I'm trying to think of something that's like, it's a little left of center, but it'll stick in your mind. That's why we loved Waterloo as a name.
Yeah.
Because it is like.
And that's another good example. I know we've already talked about them, but I think with their branding, and I would challenge anyone who's listening. I know we've already plugged them earlier in the segment, but go to waterloowashrooms.com and you'll see exactly what we're talking about. The logo is clean. It's easy on the eyes. It's easy to dissect immediately what Waterloo is, what they do, what their service, what kind of service they provide, and what kind of role they fill. Again, all on a very, very easy, simple, understanding.
But also, it was like, all right, we need to incorporate this. This Waterloo's a city everybody, or the Battle of Waterloo is something everybody kind of knows, right? But doesn't really know.
Right.
They've heard of it.
You know what it is. You don't know what it was about or
most
how
people
it came
know
about.
Napoleon was involved.
Okay. That's new to me.
I'm pretty sure. And so and it had the part Lou. This is another thing when you're doing a name creation. You need to kind of exclude some of the attributes of the business. So you need to exclude some terms. We weren't going to go potty. We weren't going to go throne. Right. We weren't going to go can, outhouse, any of that, because that already knocks us down a peg as far as a name. That already makes us in the porta potty realm.
Yeah, there's an immediate recognition, and that's not always a good thing, depending on where the consumer puts you with their first, their immediate thoughts of your name.
And one thing I like to do when I'm spitballing names is, how would someone say this? Oh, are you getting a Lou? Are you getting a Waterloo Washroom? Those sound like
turning them into a bit of a slang term.
Yeah, are you getting Waterloo? Oh yeah, call Waterloo. How would someone say this?
Casually.
Right.
Yeah.
And so that, I think, is just like kind of go through it as a customer as well. Hey, I go to Hair by Misty or Missy. Like that's way too general, vague.
We're plugging way too much for free. The Missy and Misty for their hair services
doesn't exist, but not in the area at least.
Did you Google this?
Yeah.
Were you on Sunbiz?
I was helping someone out.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think she went with Allure, which
it's rich.
You know, in the Brandon, Florida area, there's 400,000 people, right?
Right.
That's her target market. No one starts their salon with the name Allure. It does get muddled with other, like, I think there's a clothing store. There's something else.
Like
but
if there was a fishing company that sold a single lure, that could be a little, you might get mixed up there and end up in the wrong parking lot, but I think you'd steer clear of that.
Hashtag puns.
Hey-o.
And so I think name creation has to start with that, right?
Right.
And here's another thing I like to do is if I'm waffling between a couple, take a Google form and make a vote. So say you have 2 or 3, and then I email it out to like 50 friends of mine or 10 friends of mine. I trust their opinion.
Right.
Which do you like better as a name? And you just did your own little focus group, but it has to be people that you know are, you know, either successful or they have good opinions in the business area.
You don't want to send it to the friend who you know is going to argue with you just for the sake of arguing with you. Because we all have that friend. If you say anything about the Buccaneers or if you say anything about a presidential candidate, you just opened up a can of worms and you're going to be talking about politics that neither of you are qualified to talk about for the next 2 days.
Right.
So, and you know, I started a company a little while back called the Scouting Block. And what the Scouting Block does is it makes recruiting videos for high school baseball players specifically to send to colleges and to pro scouts in order to gain more exposure at either earning a scholarship or playing baseball at the next level, whatever that next level may be. And when I was developing the company and coming up with you know, the branding scheme, the name, everything that we're talking about today, I asked a lot of different people, you know, what do you think of the Scouting Block? And I think I got too caught up in I want everyone to give me approval on this name. Then I'll know it's the right name. Instead of just saying, let's only ask a couple people, a couple valued opinions, and hear what they have to say. And if generally they say, yeah, it's a great name, I think it's easy, I get it, it goes well, you know, I see the logo looks good, then you're good to go. I mean, this isn't something that, you know, for 6 months you need to be polling everyone you know about the name of your small business.
Yeah.
You know, get something that makes sense, something that's clean, easy, and dissectable, and let's move on from it, because I think there's nothing worse than you can talk yourself out of anything.
Oh, yeah.
And there's millions and billions of names out there that you could name your company. Find a good one, get some sound advice, and then move on, because it shouldn't be something that you lose sleep over.
Right.
It should be something that if it sounds good to you, get a couple good opinions, and then go from there.
And if you are a person that has a good compass, trust your instinct, right?
Right.
And so I've got another point to that, but I'll use our company as an example.
Mm-hmm.
I like Tocobaga Consulting. I know it's a little obscure, but I knew we're going to have to brand it a little bit different with Toco Works.
Right.
And there's also scalability with it. This is kind of the second point I was going to make. If you're thinking of a startup or a small business that you're like, hey, maybe this thing will take off, and maybe this retail store will expand one day. You don't want to keep it so. Again, don't create your own glass ceiling with the name, right? So the reason I liked Tocobaga was that it had roots from Tampa, because we're really gonna be regional most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
We have some clients outside of the area, but I know competitively, we know our strength is going to be these handshake relationships that we're meeting people in person. We're doing the holistic, we have a campfire logo, and I kind of like that theme as like, we're going to collaborate, we're going to sit around and kind of figure this out.
Yeah. And just so I don't know if a lot of people know where tocobaga
I was
derives from.
That.
Do you want to get into that?
So it's the Indian tribe that was in the Tampa Bay area.
The Safety Harbor region, I think, is where it was.
Yeah.
So Tampa Bay area,
which is across the bay from Tampa, or considered part of the bay, and they named the city of Tampa. Tampa means sticks of fire, so hence the campfire logo. So it has a deeper root to it. And then I knew no one can spell tocobaga, or they'll forget it because it's just kind of silly.
Right.
Plus, it's already a beer made by Cigar City Brewing.
Right. Incredibly popular.
And so tocobaga red ale. And so it's one of those things where I was like, well, let's just call us Toco Works. And then that'll be easier to remember. An email at Toco Works is easy to spell.
Flows a little better.
We can do, and then it's scalable. Once we've already started talking about, working on in-house projects, and that'll be Toco Labs.
Yep.
And, we may divide a bunch of things up. We may just keep, one day I hope we just have a small business sector, Toco small business, and then consulting on the other side.
Right.
So it gives us that scalability. It's a short name. Brevity is the soul of wit. And I think having those roots in here without having to be like, we're Tampa Bay tocobaga.
Yeah.
That
anytime you if your goal is to just stay regional and to just stay in a certain area, then by all means, you can branch off, and it kind of gives it that franchise feel to it, which isn't always a bad thing. It just depends on what you're going for. But, if we ended up being Tocobaga Consulting of Tampa Bay, then that's one thing you can do. But to, like you said, to keep it scalable, to not create your own glass ceiling, just Tocobaga Consulting, or Toco Works for short. It just makes it easy, and it makes it just more recognizable.
Right.
To somebody, the goal of this thing is not to close off our clientele to just Tampa. While this is where we're from, where our roots have been dug in deep, we want to help. And there's a really different thing going on in Tampa right now as far as growth within the city and within small business, corporations. There's incredible growth happening now, and that's going to continue to happen for the next who knows how many years to come. But that's for another episode. But that's for a few episodes. But if someone calls us from Seattle and says, "Hey, we saw your work. We saw some of the companies that you've helped. We want to get on board with you guys."
We've got someone.
Yeah. So
no, we do.
Like they already did. It's one of those things where you don't want them to feel that we're closed off just to working in Tampa.
Right.
That we're able to take clients nationally and globally and to assist them in their needs of growing their business.
So a scalable name is huge. Obviously, if you're just starting a service industry, you're starting a restaurant, you just want to get through year 3, just make it open-ended so that if you did open a second location somewhere, you're not, let's say you're in Nashville, but you want to open a second location in St. Louis.
Right.
It's across state lines or something, and the reference might get lost.
Yeah.
So make it open-ended a little bit, but not too general where you're like, this is Glenn's bar,
Going to Glenn's.
Yeah, have a little bit of a differentiation. So that we've talked a lot about name creation. I think that's kind of a lot of it anymore, and I think we have to start charging. This is a free podcast.
Yeah, by the way, this is totally free. So tell your friends about it. Tell everyone if you're sitting next to a coworker right now, take your headphones out, man. Unplug the jack and just let it play through the speakers. So they will thank you.
And you should also, if you can't think of a name, you should have a name in place while you're working on that. Like
right.
Waterloo was Refined Watershed before we figured out a name. And that's like a working title. Some movies have working titles like
Absolutely.
that. Books have working titles. It just keeps a placeholder so that when you're talking about it with anybody that might be on your team, they know what you're referencing to.
Right.
And then it'll also keep you going. You know, you're driving in the car, that's shower thoughts, whatever.
Yep.
That's take a walk. Literally, that's going to be the best way to.
I know for me, some of my, I like to dream on things. I like to think of possibilities and how big things could get, or even on a small level, how successful things could get just staying, relatively small and local.
Yeah.
But the showers, I don't know why. The shower is where I do most of that thinking and dreaming.
It's because you can't. There's science behind it. It's because you can't. You can only really focus on that. You can't bring headphones in with you.
Yeah.
You might
phone.
Yeah. And you've also like kind of subconsciously trained yourself that like this is an area.
I'm safe here.
Of free form
now.
Thought and beating off without your girl knowing.
Okay.
So I gotta throw in some dick jokes.
Yeah, there's got to be dick jokes.
Okay. So name creation, we've given a lot, and if you want to hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, we'll try to answer you back or try to bring your questions on to the next podcast episode. I want to try to get this free advice out. And this is what I tell a lot of people that want to start their own thing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you have a name, right? You need a logo. You're not a creative type. You don't know how to do it. Start drawing it on a legal pad, right? There's sites like, if you're not using us, there's sites like 99 Designs.
Yeah, that's a great site.
You can go on Fiverr.
Yep.
I think 99 Design makes artists compete. So you put out the idea, and you could take a phone picture of what you drew on a notepad, and then they compete for your business.
You'll get multiple mock-ups to choose from, and whichever one you pick, that artist will then go in and make a rendering, and they'll give you a couple different files that you're able to use, probably a vector file and some different sizes, so that you can have stuff for social media, you can have stuff for your website. So, and I believe you don't pay until you find that design,
right?
Until you get one that you're happy with. So that's a really, really great option to use. Now, keep in mind, you're paying for the work that you're getting the work that you're paying for.
Yeah.
So you pay $99 for a logo, you're going to get $99 worth of a logo. So now, if you're just looking for a place to start, you want to do some hair, you're misty, you just got your license,
right?
Want to cut up some hair, maybe that's not a bad place to start.
You want to do like a blow dryer, two blow dryers crossing each other, that hipster thing we've been talking about.
I mean, that's great. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, 99 Designs is good. Fiverr can get you started too.
Fiverr can get you started. Fiverr is about a $5 base cost.
Yep.
To get what they would just kind of consider their base package of, if you need a logo, $5. For $5, I mean, you can get work that you don't like and go back in and try to hire someone else to do it. So even if you do it a couple times, it's still super affordable. But what it does, what these sites do, they make your idea real.
Right.
And that's the exciting part of having a logo and starting a business and having this idea that you had, that you called your friends about, and that you've been, typing away in a Word document or an Evernote document on for different notes, and creating a business plan for. It makes it real for the first time. And I remember the first time I saw my logo for the scouting block was years ago, and I was blown away. And I swear it sounds corny, but it was one of the happier days of my life. Not the happiest, but it made something that I had spent so much time in my head and on pen to paper, put so much time into. It made it real and tangible, and it was something to just be incredibly proud of. So it is something
tangible. That's huge.
And that's really where you want to get to. You want your customers not to feel like, oh, this is just a side job for this person, or this is just a hobby of theirs that they're trying to charge me for. You want people to feel like this is a real company, because it is.
So the next part of this, and this is kind of part of the logo as well, is you need a color scheme. And
absolutely.
And we both come from a sports background, but I think, I mean, those are kind of, to me, those are some of the best brands that represent, you know, this thing that kind of doesn't really exist. You know, why is the Titans, you know, why are the baby blue?
Yeah.
There's a logic behind it. For our company,
there's psychological you know, reasoning by some of these logos and by certain color pairings that people use. Typically, you know, when you look at sports teams, they're the best at this.
Yeah.
Because they've been around for so long.
Except for the Browns.
Oh God, they're terrible. It's unbelievable.
Well, here's
bad.
what you can learn from the Cleveland Browns is a darkish bright orange with a brown that's not contrasting enough.
Right.
You need contrasting colors.
Well, you need a red and a blue. You need a green and a yellow.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times, I mean,
be tough for the Browns, but yeah.
Yeah. Or the Redskins with the yellow and red.
Right.
I mean,
it's a muted maroon, but
that's generous though. That's generous.
But let's look at this from a
or the Chiefs even.
But let's look at it from a restaurant.
Okay.
Green's a great color, light green.
Yeah.
If it's a healthy,
fresh.
Yeah, you think fresh.
Yeah.
If you're looking, if it's brown or black, you're thinking what?
Yeah.
You're thinking roaches maybe in here.
Yeah. Poop, maybe.
Yeah. You're not thinking cleanliness.
Stool.
So like you want to skew towards white. You know,
right, bright,
light
clean,
colors,
airy colors that are, and not only are they inviting and they're easy to look at, but they just put a good perception in your head.
Now, if you're a motorcycle retailer, you probably want black. You want these dark.
You want a little
browns.
more hardcore, a little more edgy. That's okay, but not when you're dealing with food.
No,
you know, when you're dealing with something that people want to be perceived as clean. If you're a motorcycle shop, whether you sell motorcycles or you work on them as like an automotive technician, you want to be dirty. That's a symbol of hard work. That's a symbol of we're putting in the work. We're getting our hands dirty, and that's a great thing. I don't want dirty hands in my food.
Right.
I don't want sweat in my chicken fettuccine Alfredo.
And it sounds silly that we're associating colors, but most people actually do it without realizing.
Well, this happens subconsciously in every single decision that we make.
Right.
I mean, when you go to the grocery store and you're picking out a tea, you're picking out some sort of tea to brew or to steep. Sorry, let me get my tea terms right. To steep.
Well done.
There we go. You don't know anything about tea. You don't know what you're looking for. You're just looking at the box and you say that looks like great tea.
Oh, it's green.
You don't
light
know.
Colored.
You've never had it.
An Asian fella there.
Yeah.
I don't know what he has to do with it.
You just befriended a girl on Facebook who likes yoga, so you're going to buy tea.
Right.
Because you want to be more zen.
Right.
You don't know. So you go and look at the box and I got this one.
Yeah.
And that's how we make decisions.
Yeah.
I mean, we just go around and we say, man, I want to be associated with that. I'll pay X amount of dollars to do it. And now I just made a purchase.
Yeah. And then if you're in a grocery store is a great kind of example, because if you're in you have a lot of competition, right?
Mm-hmm.
You need a different shade of green than the other. Whole Foods and Publix are different shades of green, but also recognizable.
Very recognizable
at the same time.
Well, and put Sweet Bay in there as well.
Sure.
Sweet Bay has
I wouldn't put them in a good brand.
I wouldn't put them in a good brand because they have purple, and I don't really like brands with purple.
Not many foods.
I gotta be honest.
That shitty lettuce has purple. You know, like I think of the Grimace.
There's like purple cauliflower now, which is almost like the hipster cauliflower.
No thanks.
Where it's like we're different.
Trader Joe's has a very cleanly, humble image.
Yeah, except their parking situation, man. I can't.
Everywhere.
I can't buy in.
At every Trader Joe's I've ever been to.
All
right. We're going to get down that way. Okay. So color scheme's big. There's a lot of sites that I've stumbled upon. If you look up hex color schemes, there's actually like templates for you to look at, and that shit's free. Like the stuff we're giving you is very cost effective or free. Like, people just need to get started in a lot of ways. And if you have a favorite sports team or other company in a different industry, just start with those colors and then go, I need to tweak it a little bit this way and this way. I need to make this gold a little bit more bright yellow, or whatever you need to do.
Yeah. And guys, if you want to do yourself a favor, if you're sitting here and you're saying, man, I've got an idea, I've got a logo, got a name, what color should I use? What do I want to shoot for colors? I mean, you can literally go type in Google hex color schemes. The first thing that comes up, color-hex.com. I mean, I literally am typing this in right now. Guys, there are 258 pages of color schemes.
Yep.
I mean, just full of, have at it. Just go. I mean, it's that easy. So if this is something you want to do, it's something you're looking at, just be willing to put in some of the FaceTime with the computer and to sit down and just think about what it is you want and to have the ability to just go find it.
And don't do this on your phone.
It's
got your fucking
do it on your phone.
Finger oil all over the shit.
Just
you can't see it clearly.
Just put your phone down.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't have a laptop, just go find a friend or something. Go to the library where all the homeless guys are hanging out. So simple brand book. We've got name creation, logo creation, color scheme.
Right.
You need iterations of those logos.
Mm-hmm.
So you need
alternate logo view 1.
Right. So if you have, all right, my logo is yellow, or no, already forgot about this. Font.
Yes.
Now, fonts can drive you crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel. This is what I tell everybody.
Font's kind of like picking a name.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you think it's good and you get feedback from your inner circle and they don't have a problem with it, let's roll.
And so font is big. If you use Comic Sans, I'm not coming into whatever business you have.
I'm not.
It Comic Sans font looks like those like email chain letters I get. They're all in Comic Sans.
Yep.
Or anti-Obama.
That's because they're all from '96.
I get anti-Obama ones, and it's all in Comic Sans. It's really funny. My redneck friends love to send it to me because they think I'm a Democrat.
Most chain letter emails are in Comic Sans as well.
Most shitty businesses have Comic Sans, and that I won't even. I freak like that's.
It's a red flag.
It's a red. It's
not a
bad.
challenge flag. It's a red flag.
And so, font can drive you nuts, but don't reinvent the wheel. Like if there's also if you can type in font schemes to get started or something like that. I'm a big fan of Futura, whatever. And I know this may be lost on a lot of people that are listening to this, but.
Guys, get your computer out and follow along.
You got to get curious, right?
This isn't that tough.
There's a reason Nike has Helvetica bold.
Yep.
They cornered that. No one else is going to do that. But it's easy that everybody can make their own Nike shirt if they wanted to on Zazzle.
Yep.
That has some saying of like something Allen Iverson would say only. Those are my favorite. Like
practice.
The most unathletic people wearing shit is like,
who got next?
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, dude, no one's got next, bro. And you sure as hell aren't on the court.
So you got to think of a font. You have your main font. You have your H1, H2, H3 fonts, which are your headlines, and then you have your display text on your site, which is like if you're writing a blog post, that would be. Open Sans stuff is always great. You can't go wrong with Arial. That's a little old school, but legible across all websites. And then what's my other go-to? Impact I like if you're going for like a bold.
Yep. Impact is good. Impact is nice.
I mean, we could go on for fonts. I mean, this is
font talk.
So...
You know what? We're gonna do a separate podcast just on fonts. Be sure to look out for that.
That'll be Josh.
That's
Josh
gonna be coming up
for that. Our creative chair. But anything you found while you were Googling?
The basic Microsoft Publisher font themes. Some of these more traditional ones to me are just a little outdated. Especially we say all the time here. At TocoWorks when we're talking to people and we're talking to companies, our goal to start people out who we see a lot of companies that are And it's not a jab at them, but they're pretty far behind on their branding, on their logo schemes. A lot of these companies who have been successful and stuck around, but they need revamping.
Yeah.
Their logos were made when the company was founded, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you've got to stay with the times. So one of the things we say to these people are, hey, this initial meeting, what we're going to do is we're going to get you caught up to 2015, and soon to be 2016 standards. And then we're going to go from there.
Yeah.
So, and usually when we show them and we bring them, hey, welcome, this is what 2015 business looks like. This is what branding in 2015 is. And yes, it's actually affordable. They're blown away. And they're like, I can't believe this. And that's not even, we haven't even pulled all the tricks out of the bag.
Right.
This is the basic, we're just getting you caught up, and they're ecstatic about it. Not to brag about what we do, but this is just the lack of service these people are used to.
Right.
The lack of creativity that they're used to, that we're now bringing to them.
We're changing the game.
Exactly.
I mean, but if you're listening to this though, and you're like, yeah, I'll do that. All right. First off, write a note. Like you have a business idea, just write a note on your hand. That's what I do, because if I write it down,
that's what hands are for.
I won't lose my hand unless I'm spray painting in Singapore or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get caned.
That's coming off.
Or you lose your hand, I think. But write it down. Go, I'm going to circle back to this later. But, I lost my train of thought. Oh, and this is one of the best lessons I got from people much smarter than I am. If you keep having... you're like, all right, I know this idea needs something tangible, like a brand that I can look at, but I'll do it later. I'll keep doing it. I'll do it later. It becomes that box that's been sitting there at your house that you walk around to get to your bedroom every night.
Instead of dealing with it.
Instead of just going, I should just start moving this somewhere. I have to figure this out. And that's what I tell a lot of people. Just start. Just start. Yeah. Just start with a pen and a pad. Just start there. Start doodling. That's a good creative exercise too. Is to just sit down and just draw for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you're a kid. You'll be surprised sometimes. You can kind of go. You'll stumble upon something. It feels silly a little bit, but if you just start to go, it may not garner anything. You may not get anything out of it the first time you do it,
right?
But it will get your brain thinking about it, and then it comes into the shower thoughts and driving and walking, thinking about it.
Then you can't sleep.
Then when you're out talking with friends, you might find a friend that's a little bit more creative that can help you. You can spitball.
You might call TocoWorks.
You might call us. I don't want this to be too much of an ad for us,
right.
This is what we're experiencing. This is what we're going through with a lot of people. And as Caleb was saying, we just try to keep people to like 2015. Let's just get you to right now.
Yeah.
The present. Your Comic Sans font on your business cards look like you look like a clown that murders people. Like that's
it's almost like when you meet people and your business cards kind of look like you are in like a pyramid business.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh, cool, you made this on Word. And like it's not even like your product or service.
Do not do Vistaprint.
Do not. And sorry if we just lost a sponsor there.
Fuck them. I can tell a Vistaprint card when I see one. But
it is flimsy. The printing is cheap.
But if you're just trying to get started, it's free.
Yeah, but there's so many other options you could use other than here's the thing.
I'm talking about the people who are doing like a home jewelry, or they're doing something. Stay-at-home mom business, something. But
I don't know that I would recommend.
I always say get the person's information. But don't even worry about a business card usually. Just say I ran out. Yeah. I try to get the person's info.
Do you know how many times I've told people I ran out of business cards and I never had one to begin with?
Then you're in control of that relationship starting. You have the follow-up power. We got to do an episode on follow-up.
Oh yeah, there
All
will be.
Well, look, we're butting up against an hour. What we're going to do is we're going to post, when we post this episode, we'll post what a sample brand book looks like. It's a one-sheeter. We do it for a lot of companies. it's called it's part of our phase 1 with a lot of companies. Let's get you a simple brand book. So if we're not around and you need to know what fonts you use or what color hex colors. Hex colors are like your code color for it'll be like $, $, hashtag, whatever you want to call it. And then it'll have a 6-digit code, just like if you went to Lowe's or Home Depot to get paint. They all have a color code.
Yep.
Same thing with the online stuff. And then they have that as a go-to brand. So if they're like, oh, we're doing a traditional ad in the newspaper, you can give them that info, and they'll know how to do it if they're doing some editing for you. So we'll post what that looks like on their site. Did we mention this is free? God damn. People pay like
unbelievable. People
pay seminars like $2,000 for this shit.
Yeah.
So
these are the times we're living in.
You got anything else?
I got nothing else, man.
All right. This one was a little bit more honed. We stayed on the branding, how to get your brand book going.
And if anyone can shoot us an email on how many times we said the word brand or branding, I'd appreciate that. You can email that to caleb@tocoworks.com.
Yep.
Just interested, want to get that count.
We didn't even get to the douchey part of branding, but we'll get there one day.
We didn't even get to the guy with his hair gelled at the gym of branding yet. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I control my brand. All right. For Caleb, I'm Law. Hit us up. Let us know. Hit us on all the social media, and we'll be around next time.